The teachers are alive. They're not books. They are the very living essences of nature itself.
What a strange person.
Unbelievably powerful supercomputer that's running our reality, and we don't have a clue as to how to operate it.
So when maybe you or somebody else creates an AGI system and you get to ask her one question, what would that question be?
What's outside the simulation?
Say in your mind, say to yourself, I am more than my physical body, because I am more than physical matter. I can perceive that which is greater than the physical world.
Welcome to Lighting the Void.
Broadcasting live from Daytona Beach, Florida. This is Lighting the Void, and I'm your host, Joe Roop, and we are live on Fringe.fm, KTLK Digital Broadcasting. We're back in action here, kicking it off Labor Day night here with Mary Dusina. Cosmic Conditions. The call-in number is 1-800-588-0335. If you want to visit Mary's website for reference, you can go to marydusina.com, MARYDUSINA, marydusina.com. We only have one phone line tonight, so be patient as you call in. I'm sure that happened on purpose. I believe Spirit did that for a reason, because tonight it's time to listen. And it's been a minute since Mary's been on here because of the Lionsgate stuff we was all going through. We had to miss a new moon, which I don't think we ever did. That was like heartbreaking to me, but she's here and she's back in action. Thanks, Mary, for coming on. It's good to have you back.
Thank you. Thank you, Captain Joe. Thank you. Hello, Tribe of Light. Hello, Tribe of Light. It's been a minute. We've missed you. I've missed you. And it's the Virgo new moon. And I first want to say always thank you. Just, where Mercury rules both Gemini and Virgo, where Gemini is that spark of inspiration and the idea is born. Now we're at the turning of the great wheel, we're at Virgo. And Virgo is the plan that makes it real. So we're at a different point right now with Virgo. It's the Earth Mother. It's the Harvest Maiden. So this is, even farmers are beginning to look at how their crop, what's it going to yield, what's going to happen. Look at our Earth Mother and everything that's going on, whether it's the fires and the triple-digit temperatures that have been occurring before Lionsgate out west, and then the fires. It's not just, when I hear people say, oh, California always gets wildfires, I'm like, don't say that. Yeah. Don't do that. And California is a Virgo state, and Pisces is Florida is a Pisces state. So in all of our starry maps right now, Joe and your void walkers, the Pisces Virgo area of our own personal star wheels are lit up, and that's the dynamic, that's the background wallpaper with what's going on where Mercury is the news, what's going on in the outer world. It's also how we can dive deeper with the Pisces full moon coming up to go in and actually purge and cleanse. Virgo's all about clean it up, stop your bitching, stop your whining, take action. So it's like the principal of the school, the CEO of the company, the one that says, I have to take accountability for this. So those of you that said, yeah, I'm going to start working out, or I'm going to walk more, or I was so tired of lockdown, I can't wait to get outside and walk. I'm going to stop smoking. I'm not going to drink so much. I'm not going to keep playing around with my prescriptions. Yeah, Virgo's here to hold you accountable. Virgo's like, yeah, this is that time in 2021. This is that time. With 5 planets retrograde. So instead of griping about retrogrades, I always say newbies in astrology kind of gripe about retrogrades, but I like to focus on retro shade. So sometimes when the blaring light of reality is just blinding, like we get blindsided and sucker punched and like, oh my God, I didn't see that coming. And it's just sometimes it's the raw, real, riotous truth is just so hard, to turn and put your face right into it. Sometimes a little retro shade is nice because we're able to okay, it's really hot outside. I think I need to go stand under the shade tree to continue this conversation, or I got to find some shade, or I've got to go move my dog because my doghouse is in the sun. It's too hot out there. The same reason you don't leave children and dogs in the car. When it heats up and it's such a bright light of slap you in your face reality, retrograde planets and retroshade cycles, got 5 of them, and Mercury turning retrograde on the 26th, 27th, depending on where you reside in the world. So it's about saying, pause, stop trying to jump the gun, stop trying to bitch and moan and complain about everything. Virgo is about, hello, it's your Earth Mother. We're just a few days away from harvest, a couple of weeks until harvest. So what's your crops looking like right now? And how much have you really spent time in the garden of your desires and your passions of purpose? How much time have you really put and how much work have you put into it? Anybody that's ever planted flowers, herbs, a garden knows that it's work. I mean, it's work. There's all kinds of things. So we're working our gardens right now, and we have to hold ourselves accountable. We have to look at the external things that are going on our true mother, our Earth Mother. We're Earth citizens, and as long as we walk here in this lifetime, there needs to be a certain reverence and respect to Mother Nature, our Earth Mother. So Virgo is that 6th Western zodiac sign, and I was thinking about the planets right now, Joe. It's interesting. We've got Mars at 24 degrees of Virgo. We've got Pluto at 24 degrees of Earth Capricorn. And we've got the planet of radical change and realizations, like in the twinkling of an eye or the quickening, Uranus at 24 degrees of Taurus. And it struck me psychically how interesting it was that in numerology 24, when you add 2 and 4 together, that's a 6. Virgo is the 6th sign of the zodiac. It's September 6th. And so 6 is about building our security and looking at our security. And happy birthday, Virgo. And those Virgos that are born actually around the 11th or 12th of September, the sun in Virgo will hit that 24 degrees of Virgo. So the earth signs right now are paramount. So we're thinking about our finances, and we're thinking about our work, and we're thinking about get a plan, Stan, and we're thinking about how we can streamline and organize. Again, Mercury rules Gemini. That's the bright ideas and inspiration and like, wow, that's a flash of insight. But Virgo's like, how you gonna put a plan together? All that creative fire and that inspiration is wonderful. How are you gonna bring it together? There needs to be a plan, and there needs to be follow through and personal accountability. It's time to get the work done, not just play. Leos play, Leos flirt, Leos bask, and grab all that light you can. But Virgo's like, okay, great. Glad you enjoyed the 8-8, but 9-9's coming. So you need to get ready to really be serious about what you want to cast out into the as above, so below, as in heaven as it is on earth. What do you really want to finally break up with and divorce in your own consciousness at the portal of 9-9? And numerology 9 is the final single-digit number. And 9 is the hermit in the tarot. So the 9 is saying, what what are you still getting drama from? What are you still getting attention by being the victim from? 9 is about you need to break up with it in all aspects right now. So we're really close to that. It's the 6. And in 3 days, it'll be 9/9. So the first thing immediately we can prepare for is who we're around on 9/9, who we choose to honor, who we choose to give thanks for, because Virgo's very humble. Virgo's like the Buddhist priest, the sincere veterinarians and doctors and nurses and disciples and why you follow what you follow and why you believe in what you believe in, and are you putting it into practice? We spend all this time saying, well, I don't like that. I don't resonate with that. I believe in this, and I really have a connection with this. So this is the time to work the plan with what always anchors you when you just get all spazzy and upset. And we all do it. When we feel like we're getting off center, Virgo's like, take ye apart a while and rest. So Virgo's like, sit at the table and feast upon divine frequencies, sound frequencies, color frequencies. Breathe. Take a pause for the cause that you want to manifest. And I want to say there's another culture being represented tonight. Tonight is Rosh Hashanah. And although I wasn't raised in the Jewish or the Judaic tradition, I have a whole lot of clients and friends that were, and they taught me about this. And so metaphysically, it's fascinating when you go to these different cultures, and the new moon happened to end up on Rosh Hashanah, which they start to celebrate and light the candles 18 minutes before sunset today, September 6th. And the 10 days between Rosh Hashanah, which is the new year, and they have like apples and honey to symbolically represent a sweet new year. But from Rosh Hashanah toward Yom Kippur, they're known as the 10 days of awe, and that's AWE, not in the South when we go awe when we see something surprising, but the 10 days of awe or wonder, the 10 days of repentance. So mystically, during this time, which sits Virgo, further introspection is going to be very healing on a host of levels, beyond the matrix. Other positive ways to use the 10 days of awe is ceremony, spiritual enrichment. How do you get holistically enriched and empowered from your rituals, your ceremonies, your prayer, to perform charitable deeds, acts of loving kindness, take the focus off yourself, seek forgiveness, and reconciliation within yourself concerning others, because their belief is, it's said that when one's actions between Rosh Hashanah now and Yom Kippur can change God's judgments toward us into divine blessings. And you'll love this, Joe, being an Aries. Those of you that are Aries out there. On Rosh Hashanah, the hollowed out ram's horn is called the shofar. So the ram's horn is blown during this time because it's a call to respect the next 10 days of awe starting at sunset tonight. So between tonight, the 6th, toward the 16th, when they'll have Yom Kippur, this is the time, again, in a whole other culture, to begin to divorce, break up, let go of, on conscious and subconscious levels, anything and everything that seems to keep eclipsing or coming back, like we change people, we change locations, we change who we're conversing with. And I believe if we'll move back into that space of, I really need to, in this retrograde time, I need to focus on the people that have been there for me when I was in my hard times and I was in my low times, and who can I now, even though I've come through a wave of intensity since our June-July eclipses, who might I be able to give encouraging words or sound a shofar or a trumpet of inspiration? Because the Aries fire is very powerful when it seeks to assist or bless or use words of encouragement for other people. So those of you out there that have Aries moon, Aries solar sign, Aries rising sign, I would suggest to you, since one of your mystical symbols, the ram's horn, the shofar, spoken as the trumpets, biblically, the quickening, in the twinkling of an eye, your circumstances can change. So in the next 10 days, maybe we could write down, what is it that I will atone for and give thanks for being what was a repetitive curse or a repetitive travail and a trial and error to now become into my triumphant blessing. And so to open the show, Joe, I'd like to say my Judaic friends from Israel taught me, because, of course, I grew up in the mountains of Tennessee, so it was like, Church of Prophecy, Baptist, all that. So they taught me, in my world, it was called the doxology that you sang at church. In Catholic world, it starts out at Mass with Sanctus, Sanctus, Sanctus in Latin. But in the Hebrew, what I'm about to say, because it's so ancient, rebukes any evil, whether it's aliens, hauntings, any kind of from the paranormal or the supernatural. And when I was going to all the MUFON meetings in Florida, when I was doing all the UFO stuff in Florida before I branched out and went out west and did UFO tours, I remember just going, whoa, when one of the guys that was talking about there's a code that you can say that no alien can abduct, haunt, or bother you, and all spirits have to back up when you say it in the ancient tongue, and I'll interpret it after I say it.
All right.
So breathe in. Kadosh, 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 Adonai, Sabayoth. Kadosh, 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 holy, 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 Adonai, Sabayoth, is the Lord God Almighty, who is, who was, and who shall ever be. And I'd just like to open the portal of the show with that, because it's not every new moon in Virgo that we have Rosh Hashanah. It's just interesting how a lot of things are pulling together tonight. The 6, the 24 degrees of our power player planets that are in an Earth trine right now, and the 2 benefics, Venus and Jupiter, are coming together, wait for it, at 24 degrees in the air sign. So we've got Venus at 24 Libra, we've got Jupiter. Those are the 2 most golden energetic frequencies in the stars, Venus and Jupiter. They're at 24 degrees Libra Aquarius. So air signs, those of you that are Libra Aquarius, and of course Gemini is going to get a favorable kickback from this. The 2 most beneficial planets that we study when we're looking at the construction of a birth chart, the nativity, or our current themes and transits, when you have a trine, when you have that pyramid, when you have that apex, when you have a piece of that Merkabah, then what you have with Mars at 24 of Earth and Pluto at 24 of Earth and Uranus at 24 of Earth, Neptune's pretty close at 22, but we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 celestial players right now at the degree of 24, which adds down to a 6. It's September 6th, like I said, and Virgo is the 6th sign. So 6 is about nurturing. It's about holistic wellness, birthing forward from the purging of what we don't want to think about and we don't want to get lost in our mind with or overanalyze or bitch about or whine or the self-talk that we all do. This is about putting the discipline and a halt to that, going, I am in. Just look at the world. There are so many powerful, shock and awe and wonder going on, like incredible rescues that are in the news, and people that they thought were dead, people that they thought were going to make it, and all of a sudden it's popping up going, oh my God, they did. And yet the things that are leaving the planet and collapsing right now as well. So there's this huge, got your attention yet, everybody, kind of stuff going on. And Virgo is the discipline to say, I will not be caught in a web of fear. I will not allow either side of an issue to divide me.
Amen to that.
I am one. Yeah, I am one with the all that is. And if somebody wants to divide themselves from me because of their beliefs, and I'm not playing the game to fight with them or debate it with them or even say the words like I used to, we're going to agree to disagree. Now I'm back into my mountain witch self of go on with your bad self. Rock it. Go. You believe that? Rock it.
Yeah.
Rock it. But don't be coming up with me. Don't be coming up with me with any sparks of fire, because I can put it out. What element do you want me to deal with to push you back? So the we the people energy is now increasing. Just because Jupiter and just because Saturn are in Aquarius in retro shade right now, what's happening is because everything's been coming at us so fast and furious since last year, now the we the people are beginning to go, nah, not so much. I'm onto your game. I'm allowing the quickening. I'm bigger than this. My life and my life's purpose is more than this governmental, tyrannical, divide the people, we the people, with all your plots and schemes and vitriol.
trips.
Not happening. Yeah, no, I'm not doing it. Yeah, you blame, shame. Yeah, take it to your bank, not mine.
Yeah.
You go dive into that cesspool. You go dive into that quicksand. When you get down enough and your chin's having a hard time coming above that swampy-ass water, then you'll see the therapist or the mystic or the astrologer or whoever is your spiritual, holistic anchor that can say, have you had enough misery yet? Really? Stop and look at what it's doing to you. And I'd like to suggest this. This is free if you're going through a tight budget right now, because Virgo will help you get out of it. Go to the mirror. Go to the mirror where you look at your eyes in this incarnated body once a day. Go to the mirror. No distractions, no multitasking, no scrolling. Go to the mirror, whether it's at night you turn on the light or it's during the daytime. You look at yourself in the mirror and you say, you are the magnificent vehicle of the Almighty, of the divine. Assume the position. And rebuke any darkness. Virgo's like taking charge, Virgo's like the general plotting out the whole strategy of how to look at the long-range picture of how to win whatever it is that's been causing you strife. And so this is that time for me, especially over the next 3 days, because I'll be real busy on 9/9 doing my mystical work, my holy work, and it's about releasing. So as the tide goes out, as the sun sets, because the sun sets in that Hebraic, Judaic culture right now for the next 10 days, 18 minutes, that's a 9, 1 and 8, 18 minutes for the next 10 days, now 9 days, is going to be, we're on now 9 days, and especially on 9/9, it's going to be a time as you watch the sun drop visually over the horizon, let your troubles go down with the sun. If you're near water, where the tide's coming in and the tide's going out, as the tide's receding, let the Mother Ocean, let her life waters, her birth waters, take it back out to sea, so that you can let the SEA help you to SEE. And that's the themes. I mean, Virgo's about heal it.
That's definitely, you're speaking reality of my life right now. I've had so many crazy, I guess you could say, demonic thoughts, that cause, a lot of times you have emotions that are spawned from thoughts, and then your emotions hit the body. So it's like air, water, earth, right? And then you're all twisted up. And you walk to the beach and put your foot in the water and just look at, and you can let it all go there too. And anywhere in nature, actually. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Whatever your environment is, the true mother that you have, I mean, God bless you that have great mothers and they're still in your life and all that, but a lot of people didn't. A lot of people either didn't have them in their life, or they were fostered or adopted or rejected or abandoned or abused or had narcissistic parents, okay? Or your mother favored somebody else besides you. Get over it. Put on your big pants now. But your real mother, as you walk in this earthly temple, your real mother is the earth mother. She's there for you. Can she be violent? Oh, yeah. Can she be foreboding with thunderstorms and hurricanes and ice and fire and all that? Yeah, absolutely. But how are you on a daily basis with the dressing? Good morning, Mother. Good night, Mother. I love you. Thank you. Thank you for the trees, and thank you for the lake, and thank you for my memories and the magic at the beach, and thank you for the times in the desert and the vortex and the cowboy skies out there, and thank you for although it gets really cold and kind of puts you indoors, thank you for the beauty of the snow and the terror of the ice that can happen, But I mean, there's intensity to it, but there's something about a different kind of purging when the snowflakes are big and quietly falling, and how that sounds when you walk in that. When you're walking on the sand, when you're walking on sand, you're walking on thousands of measured footsteps of time and death and birth. Thousands of lives are you working on with those grains of sand, of creatures, of life forces that gave up the ghost, in the ocean, and I honor those sailors and those sea creatures and all of the people and the men and women that actually go into the military forces of the sea, and think about Green Berets and Special Forces and Navy SEALs and the people that actually go in first before the actual backup troops come. Yeah, that's like Leo Virgo stuff. But Virgo's like, You can get in trouble in the classroom, like you can joke around and get in trouble with one of your uplinks at a job. But Virgo's like when you get sent to the principal's office. I don't even know if that happens anymore. But, when you're going to get expelled from school or you're going to get, like, that's it. Now you can get expelled for school for not wearing a mask. It's like, really? Okay. So, but Virgo is about you. If you don't assume the position of accountability, and to your point, Joe, this last week I've had 4 people get a hold of me saying I'm being haunted. I've got entity attachment, and I'm just like, okay, here's the theme. So I've had to really get into that powerhouse of Scorpio that I've got and like go up against it, go, yo, bitch.
Right.
They got a hold of me now. It's on because I see you, I know what you're up to. It isn't my favorite work to do. I'll admit it. It's not my favorite work to do, but I know if the holiest of hosts bring it to me, then it's about either helping them and then getting them on to other people that actually are very profound in their casting out of entities and all that. But the first steps for all of you that feel like you're in your mind too much, you can't seem to just get over this overwhelming sadness that comes rolling in over you, even when you've had a good day at work or held a baby or petted a kitten or had a best friend have lunch with you, and here comes that overwhelming angst again. Go on to the aspect of the web that's still free at this time, except for what you're paying for your internet service. Go on to a YouTube or go on to something to where you can do a cord cutting. Do that cord cutting exercise. And I want to give a shout out to a guy I found called Steve Noble. And he's got some rockin' stuff on YouTube that you in your own vortex in your car, on the beach with your phone playing it, out under the stars, in the morning before you go to work, really early in the dawning. He's got, just pick your choice. I happen to like that black angelic fire where you're actually cord cutting and going in with me, myself, and I, and the holiest of hosts, and calling the angels and actually giving it up. Whether if you're Christian, that you give it up to the Holy Ghost, or you give it up to the altar of the Christ. You give it up to the fire and the blood of the Christ. You call in the Holy Ghost to be in you and around you, but you've got to let it go. For a lot of people, they get attention. They get used to some attention that they've never had before with ghost hunting or a paranormal group, or somehow they're going to be the star. And I find that it often relates, they're getting attention they never really got from that childhood unit because they were abused or they were beaten or they were violated in some way, or they were the black sheep, or they were cast out and they had to go lick their wounds in the only way they knew how, often by disassociating. Yeah, look that one up. Often by going numb and then coming back with rage and anger because you know what? It wasn't fair, damn it. It wasn't fair that happened to me. So my suggestion is go onto YouTube, pick the one you like. Maybe you'll find somebody besides Steve Noble. I like to give a shout out to people that do a good job at what they do. And I know that Lighting the Void does that. I know that they bounce back with other networks. And so I see Ryan doing that all the time. I see Kev Baker doing that all the time. You do it, Joe. We're building our tribe here. So we know that you're loyal. We know that you salute and respect the work that's done here and all that's gifted and given to you. But it's okay if you branch out into something that's going to actually help you do it yourself. But the whole main thing of Virgo is you have to do the work. You have to plant the seeds. You have to put the boots on. If you want to walk forward and you want to break up with what's been hurting you, got to do the work. Got to do the work. I don't care if it's Reiki, if it's therapy, if it's scream therapy, cord cutting, learning about where you're stuck in your chart, or you can do flip tarot cards all day long and go to YouTube all day long to where you go, oh my God, everybody says everything. But let me talk to you about the impact of tarot right now. If you have decks, if you have an oracle deck or you have a tarot deck, I want you to pull out the 4 6s of all the suits. So you're going to pull, and look at them. You look at the 6 of rods or wands, depending on what deck you have, the 6 of cups, the 6 of swords, and the 6 of pentacles. They're all productive cards. And the 6 of wands, the leader of the army, he's decorated. There's wreaths. The horse is adorned. He's leading his men successful back from a battle. It's an overcoming. It's victory. In the Six of Cups, which is hearts, you have the almost like sibling or best friend. Their flowers are being put into the golden chalices. There's a home in the background or a castle. My home is my castle. It's nurturing. The Six of Cups, the Six of Hearts is nurturing.
Yeah.
In the Six of Swords, the ferryman is taking, in most decks, the woman and her child out of harm's way, and she's going to the other place. She's leaving the place of sadness and rejection and brokenness, and she's being taken by a strong ferryman away from whatever that chapter that was painful or needed to close. But the swords can often be strife or anger or frustration. And then in the Six of Pentacles, which are diamonds, we have the philanthropist coming forth to bless those that are in need. So you look at your 4 minor arcana cards, you look at those, and then you think, okay, now what's Virgo's card? It's number 9, the Hermit, 9-9, letting it go. It's the Hermit. The Hermit has climbed to the top of the mountain. He's got the high view. And what's he holding in most traditional decks? He's holding a lantern with a star in it to light the way for others that still have that climb to do. And because this new moon is at 14 degrees of the Earth, Yin, feminine sign of Virgo energies, nature, Mother Earth, harvest, pre-harvest, it's at 14 degrees, and that's temperance, which is the other mutable sign, Sagittarius. That's temperance is the 14th card in the major triumphs. And so the Hermit is the number 9 in the major triumphs. So just sometimes it helps if you just pull those cards out and look at them, like pull out the Hermit, pull out temperance. The Hermit is lighting the way. So therefore, because he's encouraging and because he's tithing and gifting, temperance is above Hermit, blessing him, because it's the angelic kingdom coming forth. And when you get to the angelic energies in the traditional tarot, the Rider-Waite deck, what you've got is you've got Raphael with the Lovers, and you've got Michael with Temperance, and then you've got Gabriel with the Resurrection card rising up. So you want to call in, find out which archangel you're drawn to right now. I can tell you for this cycle in the Hebraic vibrations right now, calling in Uriel, Uriel. Uriel is limitless light, the light of God. So when you want to put more light and yet you're willing to do the work, the archangels and the seraphim will come in to say, let's do this. Because they get it that you're being respectful, and they get it that you're ready to turn the corner and turn your back on the dismay and the depression and the constant complaining about something, that try something new. And with these 2 trines, the grand Earth trine and the trine of Venus and Jupiter right now, this is a really good time to take chances and be innovative with your ideas and your work. For a lot of you, you're going to walk out of something. Life can be short. Walk away if you're not happy. Yeah, you might have to, put a car payment in arrears or worry about the power bill, but walk out of it because it's eating up your life force. And there's so many jobs available right now. If you ever wanted to be an adventurer or an explorer, people are screaming for people to come to work right now. I mean, there's lots of opportunities right now. Really, there is. And if you want to be self-employed, then just upgrade yourself, upgrade your attitude and your game. And I promise you, if you try to be more encouraging to others and bring them in a little bit to lighten up their day, you'll be blessed. It's just the way it works. It's just the way it works. But there's nothing wrong with us symbolically or literally getting on our knees saying, okay, this one thing seems to be bigger than me. This one thing keeps haunting me. This one thing is pestering me. I want to purge it. I want to cleanse it. I know it's toxic. Maybe it's time just to ask for some supernatural help. How about that? How about that? How about breathing new life into it by calling in the holy command? We're from there. Whatever you believe about whatever happens after death, everybody will get to find out, so there's no need to argue about it. But why not call in those supernatural mysteries of light frequencies now? How about finding the sound frequencies that favor you? How about going on and learning and looking at the Reiki symbols and the one that you're most drawn to? How about ascertaining what color feels like right now, that if you just sat and meditated, or when you went for a walk, breathe in that color, like your breath all of a sudden takes on that color. All of that is absolute dynamic healing of different languages. of different frequencies. But how many people are doing it? No. They'll complain, they'll bitch, they'll moan, they'll procrastinate, but you've got to like bring in these elements of air, earth, fire, and water as above, so below. I mean, you got to bring it in now. It's time. Mercury's about time, and I'll say this about the shadow side of Virgo. The shadow side of Virgos is overanalyzing it, getting so caught up in your head that you don't ever actually physically move forward and do anything because you're overanalyzing it and you're so afraid of the rejection of it that you don't make a move and you're stuck at go, right? And the other negative side of Virgo can be the need for greed. And we certainly see that going on with power players in the world since the Capricorn lineup of mid-January of 2020. We certainly see the ones that seemingly were blessed financially when they came into this life and seemingly were given an opportunity to hold a high office of power, and yet instead of doing a lot of humanitarian things, Aquarius, Sagittarius, instead of it's as if they delight. And we the people, sometimes their strife or their cries, their pleas of mercy, and we all know how that's gone in history. Yeah, that's not going to work out well. So I'm very encouraged at the fact that if somebody gets locked into their own greed, what profiteth a man if he gaineth the world and loseth his soul? I'm into the soul fire because I've seen it work. I know it works. And so I'm just asking you to turn on your soul stars. Turn them on. You came in with them. You don't have to go get them. You came in with them. And the tyrannical power mongers and the demons don't want you to remember that. Why do you think demons chase after innocent people or children or little lambs of the divine? Why do you think they even bother with that? Why do they need to even pest you if they've got a whole bunch of people that'll just go be greedy and mean and violent and all that? Yeah. Why do you think they come after the sweet ones? Yeah. Because they know what kind of power we have. If it can be hypnotized and they can throw us off our path, right? If they can thwart us on our path and take us on a side journey of dismay and depression and anger, then they've delayed us. They've delayed our prosperity because we've given into it, and they've delayed all the people that you can grant. Yeah, you can give a pearl of wisdom, an encouraging word, and a tithe of your time. It's showtime, people. It's showtime, and we are the ones we've been waiting for. It's it. It's time to go to work. If you believe in the light and you choose the light, we've got stuff to do. Yeah, we've got seeds to spray out there. And I personally have been, since 8/8, I personally have been getting outside and walking and going to the trees and being fascinated by certain river rocks and doing those hikes and, because it's still warm enough to do that. It's not the throes of winter here, so I'm getting out there because I know I can feel it already. Autumn's coming. The leaves are about to drop and show us how magnificent color can be. It's all live languages. Just choose your magic potion. Just choose it. But do something. Do something different, because Virgo is all those strategic techniques that you can start to employ. It's knowledge. It's the knowledge. Gemini is the idea. Virgo is like, okay, you now have a knowing. You have a lot of really cool-ass knowings. What are you going to do with it? Which one will you pick? Go to your closet of knowings and pick one and say, I'll wear you today. Lots of times, Joe, when I go out in public, I've got on my Harry Potter cloak of invisibility. It's too people-y out there.
It's too
they're too ready to. Well, they're too ready to pick a fight, or they want to spew their opinion onto you, and so I just put my cloak of invisibility on there. But if someone gets my attention or speaks to me, and I can feel that warmth and that. Not that I have to have my butt kissed, but if I can see that someone has a sweet spot, then I'll pull that cloak back and go, how are you today? And just today, when I went to the grocery store, the girl that was bagging up the bag, she goes, oh, good, it's her. And I turned around, like I didn't think it was me. I turned around like, oh, who's in here? Somebody positive? That would be nice. And she goes, no, you. And these two young guys, that I said, I just want to really honor you guys that you could be sitting at home and getting your little stimulus check, but you're working and you're young and you're working. So I just want to salute you. And they go, yeah, it's boring at home. We're really bored. And and I said, no, but you're working. And they all just came over to the register and they said, you're so much fun when you come in here. That's tithing. That's energy work. That's metaphysics, and that's spirituality put into motion.
But
that's simple.
I think more people will know now at least now, or at least at the very least, something's missing in your life, something important.
Yeah, 2020 slammed that in our face, didn't it?
Yeah, something that the world has, like the worldly things, have no way to give you, because this thing that's missing in your life, it comes from your soul. It comes from what's inside you. I've talked to a lot of people too, and no matter what side of the fence they are, financially or health-wise, relationship-wise, they all have something missing in their life that the world can't offer them. Think about that.
Joe, I know you. You know the scripture. I can't tell you where it is, but there's a scripture. I'm paraphrasing for those of you that know it. Be in the world, but you're not of it.
That's right.
We're walking this world as magicians, as healers, as helpmeets, as kindness advocates, as people that need to set boundaries. A lot of times people that are empathic and really kind, they struggle with setting boundaries. And there's the vampirical energy thieves out there going, oh, good, look, they have a hard time with boundaries. I'm gonna go suck some more energy out of their aura. And then they meet me. Then they meet people like me going, now pump your brakes, back it up. That won't work here. That won't work here. And that's healing too. To halt people from taking advantage of you or not treating you right actually builds your own self-worth. You don't wait till they've absolutely aggravated you enough that you blow up. That's not good for you, and it's not good for them. Not that if they get me to that point I really care about, because I'll give lots of warnings like, you don't want to go there, you don't want to go there. You're about to go there. You want some of this? So, I will. But I'll always start out kind. I'll always be encouraging. I'll always, be able to set a firm but a realistic, kind boundary. But if somebody wants to push the buttons, there's going to be mirrors all over them. It's going to be like, guess what? I'm going to put a mirror on you, and you're going to get to see how you are, because obviously you don't. And all of us go through the point where sometimes we don't see what we're projecting. But I know, because now I looked at you psychically, I know that it's not just that you're an innocent and you don't see it. You do see it, and you won't change it. Yeah, now you met me. And, we're going to go into, I'm going to give you some of the medicine that you tried to spew out, but you're not going to catch me up in your sticky web. You're not going to catch me up in that. And so part of Virgo too, Joe, is, most of us, we see the world through a personal lens. Let's talk about portals and shutters and lenses, and that includes our chakras. So we closely identify with what? Our feelings. How does that feel? I don't like that. Ooh, I like that. Ooh, that really turns me on. I really like that. I'm drawn to that. So we get drawn, the moth to the flame. So our feelings and our experiences, we can identify with them so much that we come to believe that that's our only reality, or certainly that's our mainframe reality. So there are times Virgo gives us an advantage. Guess what the advantage of Virgo is? It's not all wrapped up in emotional volcanoes. Virgo and Capricorn let us pull back from our emotions and say, would you just look at the black and white and the bottom line of this? And that will grant us and gain us a perspective and an understanding that our circumstances, our external world, that's the outer world, and we'll be able to look at them from what? A more neutral, Virgo, vantage point. So this is that time. This all the way up into harvest is that cycle in 2021. It's that perfect cycle. It's that perfect celestial moment for you and I to do some different kind of exploring, excavating, eradicating. We're on a hunt. So instead of just considering ourselves, we've got to consider what we need to understand about the conditions and the people and the current culture and the environment that seems to be orbiting around us. And if it's orbiting around us, we're engaged with it. There's energies flowing in and out of us. So you'll be happy that you did, because that's each one of the 12 signs. That's a better way to work with the energy mainframe, the main hard drive of what's being lit up from the heavens on the earthly walk right now. So what's the blessing of that? The polarity to Virgo, 6 signs away, is Pisces, Neptune. And so we'll get the illuminations, we'll get the release, we'll get the golden key to unlock what was formerly locked up, locked down, obscure to us, and it goes back to seek, and you will find. So I'll wrap it up with this. It's advantageous for all of us, no matter whether you got Virgo in your chart or not, but all of you have a Virgo room, all of you have a Virgo zone. in your star map. So it's Virgo and Pisces. They're feminine, they're yin, they're sisters to each other. So wherever you've got Virgo, Pisces is exactly in the opposite house of that. So the advantageous win-win cycle for us right now, the time for us right now to get some distance, get a different perspective and get some distance from what you've been so closely looking at or what you're so closely focused on or doing, and see that work and your projects and your desires from a different perspective. The Hermit, going higher up the mountain and lighting the way for another. And the trick is to connect with the essence, the energy, the frequency of your aspiration while letting the form and the timing element be dictated by supernatural spirit. All of us, when we become too personally attached to the outcome, that's in Psychology 101, when you're attached to the outcome, it makes you a little blinded to be able to see the miracle because it's not turning out exactly as you planned or exactly as they said or exactly when you thought it would. So 2 words, trust spirit, trust source, because the perfect version, I promise you, the perfect version of your abundance and your vision is right in front of you. If you can hold your emotional self in neutral, just like in a car or a boat, neutral, remain curious, and then watch the miracle unfold because you're seeking, so you'll find it. That's just the laws of dynamic manifestation and metaphysics. But the key, your modus operandi right now is to remain neutral. Don't get all emotionally charged up, plus or minus, because if you're too emotionally charged up, you're projecting your crap that hurts you onto other people, and you're getting wah, wah, wah with why they didn't respond to you and hug you and nurture you and pay for you and all that kind of stuff. It just starts happening. It's an old dynamic. It throws us right. People say, I don't think my child has had much effect on me. Really? Let me see you get mad. Let me see you get hurt. I can read your inner child right away. And we all do it. We all do it. But there's this fantastic advantage that happens when you say to yourself, well, of course I was affected by what I programmed into my subconscious from the karmic circumstances of my childhood, the pluses and the minuses. So now I'm going to rise above it because now I have my inner child and my adult self, and yippee, I've learned how to pull in some supernatural stuff that came in with me when I arrived this lifetime. And I've just simply let the outer world dominate my nappy ass too much. So disengage, become neutral, and become more fascinated by what Spirit wants to do to guide you and direct, go this way. And that comes from turning the key of your intuition, which is always the gold and silver key of giving you your answers. So whatever's missing in your soul, the answer is also in your soul too.
Well,
absolutely.
That is one hell of a speech. I wish I could have had a standing ovation, like a button to hit for all that. Because I'm with you on that. I guess we can do the signs if you want, like when we come back, or
sure,
however
absolutely.
you want to do that. I just
absolutely.
Now I can tell you that for sure that I've been going through that stuff. You know, the Lionsgate thing.
What have you been feeling?
You know, I've just been feeling like a lot of it has to do with abandonment and rejection, and not feeling good enough for certain things that it seems. I think that happens to all of us. We don't feel like
absolutely,
we're getting...
to a greater or lesser degree. Yep.
Yeah, we don't feel like we're getting the same things that other people get. But 2 things, everybody's good enough for that stuff for the most part. And secondly, you don't know just because the way things are from the outside looking in. So a lot of it's just an illusion too. So I don't know.
So let's make a word. Because the full moon this month will be the Mystic's moon in Pisces. So you mentioned 2 of them on a word. And Spirit gave me this word: rejection and abandonment, R-A, and then I-N. So rejection, R, abandonment, A, I could be I'm inflamed, and N can be and I want change now. So let's shift that to resurrecting, authentic abundance, illumination now. So that's a word for you to play with. Any of you going through rejection and abandonment, write down the word rain. Write down the word rain. And I want you just to start doing words that do your minus words of rejection and abandonment, and I'm inflamed or I'm irritated, and and it never happens to me. Like do those. It never goes away. Go ahead and let yourself express the challenging words. the challenging words that start to come from those letters, R-A-I-N. And then, before you finish the exercise, and I don't care if you just take 5 minutes, but you're going to end up with, on the right side of that paper, the encouraging words. Virgo's about wordsmithing, too. I resurrect from this. I rise from this. I'm authentic. I'm abundance, walking, talking, dreaming, thinking. I ask, another A word, I ask for the abundance to breathe me. And anything that you're inhaling, here's a witchy, mystical thing. Anything that you're inhaling, you're giving life to. Exhale what you don't want. Push it out. That's a purging. That's a cleansing. That's a releasing. Another R word, I release it. Another A word, almighty. Another I word, illumination, intuition, insight. Another N word. I like the now on the N word on my positive stuff, because when you're doing affirmations and intentions, now brings it right present, not sometime in the future or gee, I hope so. But now can be a lot of things. You move from needy on the N, you move from needy into nourishment. So what you're doing is you're engaging your subconscious mind and your conscious mind with that word. You're just taking a simple word. It could be another word if you want to come up with another word. But it just came to me psychically, which is why I used it with you when you mentioned rejection and abandonment.
Mm-hmm.
And just look at yourself in the mirror and say, I'm going to use you as an example, or myself, Mary, Joe, go look in the mirror. Aren't you over the BS of the abandonment and the rejection stuff trying to catch you up and never let you get out of the sticky web, and maybe the spider didn't eat you today as bad as you think it has been? It still didn't put out your fire. It still didn't stop your desires and your love and your passion and belief in love. And It still didn't bury you in the earth. It still couldn't cover up your ability to arise from it, right? There's an AR, arise from it. And the fire, my continents of my being, I'm an electromagnetic, biochemical, rainbow spirit being currently in an earth vessel right now. And from now on, I'm walking forward, and I'm going to have gratitude and appreciate the present. It's the gift. It's the now. And I'm going to take charge in allegiance. There's another A word. In allegiance with the high holy command, the archangels, another A word, into my life right now. Rapid fire. I accept it. I ask it. Here comes the great R word. I receive it.
How can you look? You should say too, like, how could you look in the mirror and smile a little bit and say, how could anything or anyone reject and abandon that? That's what you should do.
Exactly. Oh, yeah, listen, I'll look in the mirror after I get rid of the stuff I don't like. When I look at the mirror and I'm like, you got this. I'll tell you something funny, Joe. I know you got to go to break. This is so funny. I was sitting in a restaurant, and I always go when it's not too people-y. So I was like at 2 o'clock when most of the lunch crowd has left, and I was with a couple of other people, and we were talking, and this one girl was all excited because she's met this new guy and she's going to go on a date. And my other friend and I went, oh, good for you. Just like that. And I said, I would if I found someone interesting enough, just like that. And I said, I found someone bold enough and interesting enough. Yeah, that'd be a good guy, just like that. The server behind me, I didn't know her sign or anything. She's just waved on me, and she turned around. She looked at me with that look, and she said, I bet you're interesting. I bet you're really interesting to date. And I said, oh, trust me, I am. And she goes, I love that. I just love that. I said, what sign are you? And she said, I'm a Scorpio. And I said, okay, you can see it. We're good. And she said, yeah, I'm married to a Leo. And I tell my husband all the time, he'll say, you're so intense. You're so intense. And she said, yeah, you know what? I keep you happy. I keep you happy, and life's interesting when you come home from work. And he goes, well, that's true. So. Yeah. But I thought that was such an interesting metaphysical thing she was just tired. She was rolling silverware, and she had her back to me. She was in the other booth, and she said, I bet you'd be interesting to go on a date with. You would be interesting. And I'm like, yeah, that's true.
Well, let's do this. When we come back, Mary, we'll do the signs, and we'll take your phone calls too. Right here with Mary Dusina, 1-800-588-0335. More Lighting the Void coming up. Stay with us.
call Joe. Pick up the phone, dial 1-800-588-0335, toll free from the United States or Canada.
Remember, Mary, dust is a must.
That's right.
Oh, we're back with Cosmic Conditions here with Mary Dusina. Lighting the Void live. The call-in number is 1-800-588-0335. We've got one line, which means it's a night for listening. If you don't get through, just keep calling. But I think someone's already on the line waiting. But we still got to go through the signs here. So take it away, Mary.
Mystic of the mountains. Okay. I was just answering someone real quick that messaged me saying that had, negative entities. I'm telling you, things come up. They come like high tides. That had negative entities since they were young, dark entities following them. And so I'm telling you, go back to our word rain. Go back to our word rain. It's just like receive and ask what you want to have taken from you, and then allow your intuition to just get quiet, to just settle and get quiet and get it out of your head. Everything that's been exhausting you, everything that's been, pestering you or taunting you or haunting you. And when people do things that trigger us, it lets those negative entity, their negative energies, yippee, I can go haunt them again. Look, they're in their head. Look, they're all frustrated. Look, they feel lonely or alone in the world or whatever. Listen, we were financed with a different kind of supernatural currency when we came into this ride. Of course there's going to be ups and downs in the earth walk. It's promised in every scriptural text or tablet out there.
Yeah.
But we have to remember. I think it's just about remembering, another R word, about remembering maybe about the type of holy fire and currency that we have, and we can use quiet light language, we can use Om, we can use Reiki symbols, we can walk in the woods, we can, pet a dog, we can go help you tithe to an animal shelter. Anytime that you're actually going and helping something or someone that has some kind of need based on whether you're really tight with money or really wealthy with money, anytime that you can get out there and uplift demonic, negative, dark energies, take. They don't give.
That's
so
right.
Whenever you and I give, and it isn't always money, but you know what? I got to tell you, it feels as fun as it is to have my bills paid and have money, and I love all my clients, and I bless all of you. I love your face to reach out to me and to bless this show and all that. You rock. But I got to tell you, it feels so good, and I find little creative ways to give people in need some money, So like I pull up to that same grocery store, Joe, and the little guy that's homeless that I've spoken about before that always smiles, is very good with Native American stuff. He looks like an old hippie, Vietnam vet kind of thing. And he pulled up and I said, hey, I'm not going to say his name, but I said, hey, I've got a favor to ask you. I said, it's just cool enough that I could finally bring my dog with me to the store and it's morning. And I said, so if I pull right up here next to you where you're sitting, can I hire you to watch Lulu? And yeah, of course. He said, and my dog likes him. She doesn't like many people, but she's Scorpio, but she likes him. And I said, so I can leave the window down because she's got ice water in her blanket and her toy. You know how I am. I overcompensate her. And I said, but if you'll do that for her, I just got to run in and get a couple of things and I'll come out and I'll pay you. And he said, I'd be glad to do that. And I said, great. So when I came back, I knew psychically. I knew he didn't have money. I know the manager of the store. When I gave him the $20 cash, when I gave it to him, he said, thank you. And I said, oh, thank you for watching my dog. And I knew I had to make him laugh. And I said, because, as kind of a person as I am, there's an equal part of reactionary woman in there because, I'm like that mountain woman. He goes, yeah. And he's grinning. And I said, somebody comes at my dog because I saved her life, I'll kill him on the spot. So I need you to intervene and watch my dog. And he goes, I got it, Mary. Nobody's going to hurt your dog because I don't want to see you have to do it. And I'm like, we're good. And I drove off. I made him laugh. And he went right back to the deli and bought himself some lunch.
Oh,
so
that's nice.
For me, that $20 was $2,000. That's the currency that came back to me. Did I need to have applause? Did I need to have attention? I'm only telling the story as a lesson to people that think, I'd like to give. We always say that. I'd give if I had more money. No, you don't. You're going to be too caught up in the next thing that you're doing. You got to get the boots on the ground and just do it. You know, and I remembered how that started coming back. I've got people that will just, especially when we come closer to winter, they just send some cash in an envelope to me. They'll snail mail it to me going, I know you're going to be feeding them creatures. I know you had a bear last year. I'm going to send you some critter money. It's great. Do I know that it's coming? No. No. But they've listened to us for going on 3 years now, Joe, and they know that I like to tithe to nature, right? I like to tithe to nature. And, everything's inflating right now. So, it costs more to get the raccoon and I got baby skunks now that don't run from me. I go out there and they're striped skunks in the mountains here. They don't turn around. They don't go to spray. But like I told you, let somebody try to come up around my back door. There's 7 skunks out there. Have a good day.
Well, you got you got something for the signs for us, Mary?
I do. Okay, so it's the new moon, which means I have to tell you the sun and moon marry in the sign of Virgo. So this puts the earth signs in the spotlight of favorability. So if you're a Virgo, a Capricorn, or a Taurus, your light is shining very brightly right now. For all of us, the Virgo zone in our chart is the work to be done. Let me say it again. In your birth chart, as well as right now, it's lit up for 2021. But wherever we all have Virgo in our Earth birth chart, in our star map, that's what we're supposed to be attending to this lifetime. That's the work. That's part of the passion of our purpose. It's got to be in that spoke of the wheel moving forward. So if you're a Virgo, happy birthday to you. And if you're a Virgo, this is when the sun and Mars right now are saying to you, like Mars and the sun are together. That doesn't always happen every year. So right now, Virgo's like really got the momentum to accomplish a lot of things. So I would say to Virgo, sky's the limit. Stop eclipsing yourself. Get out there and bust a move. This is your time to just start it. Just begin it. Don't get all Virgo-y up in your head that you think you got to accomplish it by the time we get to October 1st. Didn't say that. Didn't say you had to accomplish it in Libra. That's when you'll start to spend some money and bring some money in. But for Virgo right now, when you're in your first house, start up. It's your solar new year. Just start it up. So the opposite to Virgo is Pisces, the polarity sign. So if you're a Pisces, number one, the full moon's going to be in Pisces. Yee-haw, yippee-yay, love it. It's the cowboy moon. Saddle up, ride on. So this is the strongest time for like really prolific dreams. A lot of connection with the etheric, your guides. I mean, if you'll hold court with them and invite them to your mystical table, to your holy table, oh, trust me, they'll show up. They'll show up over the 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th, and especially for Pisces because it's your full moon of the year. So for Pisces, it's a 7th house dynamic. So what's being triggered is how you interact with your significant others. So are you being harsh with them? Are you being impatient with them? If they don't serve you, if they don't, spoil you, if they don't let you play victim and go, oh, there, and pat you on the head. Yeah. So Pisces can get all up on their hind legs and bow up if somebody's not giving them all the attention that they want to hold court with. And Pisces can often hold court with their addictions or their illnesses. Yeah, I said it. But the Pisces is the 12th sign. So the Pisces and the Virgos of the zodiac, they're supposed to be in some kind of capacity or purpose of helping uplift others or heal them. They're the healers of the zodiac. Pisces and Virgo are the service signs of the zodiac. Whether you're presenting a meal or helping someone buy the furniture for their home, you're selling the RV or the new car or the great used truck, Virgo and Pisces are supposed to be giving the best deal that they can and really caring about the type of service or pitch or marketing that they do. So for Pisces, it ain't about you right now, sweet pants. It's about other people in your life. If you're a Libra, this is your tender time of the year. What does Mystic Mary teach you? Whether you know anything else about your chart, the month before your sign, so Virgo is before Libra, is when you're in the embryonic or the tender time physically and mentally, but your power cycle spiritually and for healing. So if you're a Libra, there might be a lot of things that seem like you had rode this really fast race car speedway type of a thing. Man, what a thrill ride. Now you're sitting there going, okay, that was exciting. Things are kind of weird right now. It seems like not a lot's happening right now. Am I addicted to the drama and the thrill, or would I like to just get some things established and settled, and I need to get a flow of some good mojo coming in? So if you've got Libra moon or rising, right now you need stability. You just need stability. You don't need drama. You don't need high anxiety. You just need to do the work of getting stability. So the balance sign to Libra is Aries. So for Aries, it's, here's that number again. It's the 6th house. Virgo is the 6th house for the Aries stars. And that's all about work and purpose. It's all about work and purpose. And because it's the 6th house, how can you be of service to somebody else without getting yourself all stuck to them or tied up with them? It's like, you can give them 15 minutes. You don't have to give them an hour. Learn how to pull back. Learn how to be like, listen, I wanted to just check in on you, and I've been thinking about you, but mean it. Don't give them pie in the sky BS, because Aries are great salesmen. Aries and Gemini are great salesmen. It's like, don't sell me. Be genuine or get out. So with the Aries right now, it's the 6th house, and I would also suggest to you, Aries, strong in your chart, 6th house is also about your wellness and those people that depend on you. So maybe young kids, maybe animals, maybe an animal shows up temporarily in your world and you're to help it's on its way. The cat shows up in the mountains or the beach or whatever, or the dog, and you help reunite the dog with the person that it got off leash with, and you end up making friends, or it becomes your next lover, with the person that you helped get. The dog served a purpose as a medicine totem to get you to meet that person. That can happen a lot for Aries right now, especially getting closer to that full moon. If you're a Scorpio, it's an 11th house dynamic. Meetups, social events, lectures, the dynamics of how you get the word out, how you show up and strut your stuff in a sincere way. For Scorpio, it's about dream weaving. The 11th house is our team players, who's on board with us instead of being a fake fart or a false face. So Scorpios right now are finding out who's genuine and who's just wanting to take a little piece of their time. So Scorpios are going to be casting their eyes toward the sincere. Now if you've got a shadowy Scorpio, then they kind of use their sassy and their sexy to pull people in. They kind of do that. They may not deliver with the sex. They may not deliver with anything other than what they're trying to sell you, but they know that there's a lot of lonely people out there. So when a Scorpio, especially Scorpio males, when they get into wanting to dominate and control, they just throw on the currency of either sexy or the money. That's what they do. Because what is that? That's pulling someone into a web. Is it a web of deceit? Is it a web of control? So think about, the tangled webs we weave. So I always say to Scorpios, it's not going to be too good for you with Uranus traveling through Taurus. You're going to have that big wake-up call if you don't have sincere or genuine intentions. Just saying. But for Scorpios right now, there's some interesting new professional and personal connections that are coming in. For Taurus, which is Scorpio's balance sign, it's the 5th house. And this is about children, or if you are a Taurus child, there's something about a real core level nurturing that you need, or if you're a Taurus parent, then you're wanting to give some core level acceptance and compliments and nurturing and genuineness to your children. But there's something around the Taurus strong in a chart to where there's going to be that child, and depending on ages, that parent that's maybe acting like a child that needs to have some type of grounding. If you're Sagittarius, it's the 10th house. Virgo's your 10th house. So it's time for you to strut your stuff and show your roar and show those skill sets that you have, and just show up with your best game. Show up with your best game, because this is a cycle of advancement for Sagittarius, and the offer could come through that really lets you see, I stayed, I played fair, I was always a win-win person with my commitments that I did, and now it's time for me to accept something that's exciting and adventurous and a brand new dynamic for me. So that's really operating strong for Sagittarius all the way into our November-December eclipses this year. And if you're a Gemini, which is 6 signs away from Sagittarius, it's home improvements, what's going on with the home, what's going on with the family. It's kind of chaotic around Gemini right now, and it's like you just got to get stuff settled down because you're all over the place. And Geminis, oh my God, Geminis can do like 4 or 5 things all at once, but it drives everyone around them crazy, because Geminis sometimes forget how to decompress. It's like Gemini's like go, 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 and then all of a sudden their mouth is open, they're asleep on the couch with the partner that they were going to watch the movie with, and it's like, and the partner's going, really? I'm watching it, and the partner will go, okay, say back what was just in that last scene. Tell me what just happened. Don't do that to me. Okay, so Gemini goes until they wear themselves out. So what they could learn under Virgo, because Virgo squares them, is how can you not drive yourself all the way to extremes before you have pleasure in your rest instead of just pleasure in being manic and bipolar busy. If you're a Capricorn, it's 9th house. So Capricorn, Taurus, and Virgo, remember you're favored. Capricorn's able to put together some kind of really unique way of doing what they do, or perhaps they're going to lighten the workload on them in their life, and it might be a time to kind of step back and retire from one thing so they can invest time or money in another thing. But I see inspiration around Capricorn right now. I see a lot of flowers blooming psychically and inspiration for you, Capricorn. So trust the vision, write it down, and if you're a Capricorn, you're going to get the vision. You're already going to be building structure and foundation to it. For Cancer the Crab, it's how you say what you say. So if you're Cancer the Crab and you're getting your feelings hurt again to do with family or lover or whatever, it's the silent treatment's not going to work. Neither will over-talking it or trying to over-negotiate it. If you're Cancer the Crab, find out, to use your word, Joe, find out how you can deliver your message with sincerity and standing ovation kind of results, because you're going to find your voice, find your confidence, say what you mean what you say. So with Cancer, I would say, instead of the silent treatment, less words, but back it up. Back it up. Don't just, I'm gonna, and you should get the shoulda, woulda, coulda out of it, and just say, that's not comfortable for me. That's not attractive for me. What I find would be a great resolution and a win-win for us would be, whether that's job, personal, child, whatever. So for the sign of Cancer Moonchild, I would say maybe even write it down or practice it. Go back to that mirror once a day that we talked about in the first hour. Practice it, not as in sales, but as in the sincerity of your soul. Listen to your heart. How does your soul want to deliver the message? That's the authentic pitch right there. How does your soul want to deliver the message so you're not entangled in other people's psychological bullshit? So it's got to get yourself free. Free to be liberated enough to say, this is how my heart says it. This is how my heart sees it. My mind and my ego are out of it. This is simply what my heart desires and the best of you that my heart sees. That's all. That's all. If you're Aquarius, 2 more signs. If you're Aquarius, it's 8th house, so it's mystical, it's supernatural, it's paranormal, it's dynamic, so I'm going to tell you to tread lightly. This is not a time to get overly curious with the Ouija board or the seances or the graveyard romps. No, this is not a time for that. This is a time for you to really look at what it is that you would like, maybe get into angelology, or maybe look into your ancestry or your elders or your lineage, and maybe focus there and start the ritual or the ceremony or the prayer with, I want to thank all the people that came before me that helped me be here now. So it's respect to tradition, it's atonement, it's repentance, and you don't have to be Jewish to do that. But we happen to be in a cultural cycle to embrace that. And Aquarius loves to look at different cultures and beliefs and religions and cycles. They like to investigate that and get the current running theme. So I would go there. It's very mystical for Aquarius right now, especially with Saturn and Jupiter and Venus all kissing each other. The air signs are favored for the intellectual, the intuitive, and the mystical. And they're feeling sexy too, because the 8th house is all about how you can bring some inspiration into your sex life, your lovemaking, and instead of just rushing ahead to the playground parts, the big O, no. So if you're an Aquarius right now, get familiar with other ports of entry that aren't just the common orifices. Did I say that sexy enough for you? So find how you can touch someone's neck, or how you can move your fingers through their hair. Yeah, it's getting warm in here. So, run your fingers just around where the tailbone enters into the bottom part of the body. Yeah, so for Aquarius, use your intuition and your psychic touch to be able to actually send wonderful energy, vibratory frequencies into someone instead of just I'm ready to do it now. Yeah, that's boring. So focus more on sensuality instead of just the sex act. Okay, I'm done with you, Aquarius. If I haven't lit you up by now, then you've got some study to do. So if you're Leo, and I apologize to the Leos for fate getting in the way for you to get your own show, but we always make it up to Leos because it's one of my favorite signs. So if you're a Leo, it's a second house thing. So here's the good news, Leo. Since 8/8, since the season of Leo and the sun being happiest when it's lighting up Leo, because you're the lucky ones with the sun, it's in your second house of various exchanges of energy and currency and benevolence. So this is a time that Leos can prance and dance and draw in the attention that would be very good for them in a host of ways. So it's good for that. But the main signs that are in the illuminating disco ball right now are the Earth signs, Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn, and I would say Libra, Aquarius, and Gemini for accomplishing it better. For all of us, Virgo is about if you're bitching about your money or you're bitching about your job or you're bitching about your schedule, start with you. Disengage. Start with you. Start looking at how you can make another innovative style or plan to be able to not have that energy drained out of you.
Yeah.
Spirituality uplifts you. Tithing, richness, the currency you want is anyone and anything that uplifts you. But it can't just you're always the taker. You can't always just be the receiver. You've got to also bless back. That's what keeps unlocking any lockdowns. It's the keys. The silver and the golden keys come from us finding creative ways to get out there and inspire and give to another.
There you
Boom.
go. Done. All right. Well,
Yep.
I hope everybody got that message. Well, they will. We'll have it out in the archives too. So.
Yeah, I was going to say there'll be the replay where they can hear it again, and maybe take notes on the dates. I would say, let me just give these couple of things on the planets. Mercury entered its shadow, its shade tonight for the Mercury retrograde on the 6th that will happen over the 26th and 27th. Here's some good news for your love life. On September the 10th, Venus goes into Scorpio. Now, traditional astrologers will say this, oh my God, Venus is in her fall in the sign of Scorpio because Venus is happiest in Taurus, which is Scorpio's opposite sign, and she's happiest in Libra, right, which is where she is right now until the 10th of September. And so, but on the 14th of September, Mars is going to enter Libra. So the focus right now, if Mercury's getting ready to retrograde in Libra and Mars is ahead of the sun and it's going to jump into Libra and Venus is already ahead of the sun, then what that's telling us is we can all get more creative in the Libra symbol of what creates balance, the balance between what we're giving and what we're taking. Exactly what I've been preaching on tonight. I'm ahead of you on the sign that's coming in. You can't always take. You have to be able to give. So Libra is all about balancing the give and take. If people are taking from you all the time and they're taking your energy, you're not respecting yourself enough and giving enough to yourself. If you think you're all like jolly and happy, but you're always taking other people's time and you're taking from other people, then you need to step up to the plate and start giving back to some other people, and that'll balance you out because we all go through those cycles. On the 20th, we have that Mystic's moon, the full moon in Pisces. Oh, my God, if you can get near water, do it. And the mountains or the sea or in the rain, just get near water or turn on your little water fountain because it's very, very mystical and great time to do mirror work as well. Okay, so on September 17th and 18th, listen up. I call them red light, green light days when I'm doing my clients' charts. So the green lights, of course, are the go-ahead, like right now, and like when we have the full moon in Pisces, and then on September 16th and 17th, when the sun in Virgo will be trined by the transformation planet of Pluto in Capricorn. Yeah, that rocks. But on the 17th and 18th, prior to that moon, we have Venus in Scorpio squaring off with Saturn in Aquarius. So if you expect or demand too much, even in your quiet mind, or you're thinking that you gave to somebody, so there should be reciprocity, and it's their turn to buy lunch, and it's their turn to call you, and it's, how dare you ghost me? Okay, we've all done it, so shut up with your bad self. Improve that with yourself. Whatever hurts you the most about who's not communicating with you or how they're communicating with you, here's an opportunity that you can turn that horoscope around. On the 17th and the 18th of September, look at your own style. Look at who you haven't contacted. Look at who you've ghosted. Look at maybe who you haven't respected enough because they've proved their worth in your life and in your world, right? And don't engage in arguments. Don't engage in arguments, and don't get angry while you're driving. Don't do it. Don't do it. So that would be the red light day I would see for this month. Does that mean it has to be bad? No, didn't say that. I just gave you a strategy. So choose those 2 days to see how you can turn the basic background celestial frequencies into something that can be morphed into something more majestic, magical, and magnificent. That's the ticket.
There you go. Yeah, I hope you all write that stuff down. Are you ready to take some phone calls, Mary?
I am.
All right. Here we go. Looks like we have, I want to say, my goodness. Yeah. 812 area code. You're on the air with Mary Dusina. Who are we speaking with?
Hey, Joe. Hey, Mary.
Howdy.
It's Barbara.
Bless you.
What's up, Barbara?
Hey, thanks for doing that, guys. I've much appreciated.
Thank you, Barbara. Thanks for your patience and your loyalty. How about that? First off, we'll thank you. Would you like me to pull a card, or do you have a question?
I just wanted to see what Spirit's given you for me tonight.
Smart girl. Okay, you got the Ace of Swords, which is the Ace of Spades in regular cards. Now, I'm not saying I'm the end-all, be-all. I'll just tell you the way I learned it and what Spirit gives me. To me, the Ace of Swords is lighting up the season of summer. I see it associated more with the air signs, with the etheric, the meditative, the what you're inhaling and exhaling. Again, the use of the words. You'll hear things like the pen is mightier than the sword. But the aces all have to do with innovative beginnings. So the Ace of Swords, if you take out a typical textbook tarot book, it'll say great force and either love or hatred. So the Ace of Swords, think about the sword of Excalibur. The Ace of Swords is pointed up. There are light beams coming down from silver and white clouds in the Hanson Roberts deck that I'm using. There's the laurel leaf crown, like instead of a crown of gold, it's the laurel leaf is wrapping around the top of this jeweled sword. So this sword is being activated by Spirit. So what I would say to you is, and what you say to you is, and what do I truly want to launch or begin? Because we don't come, the way I've learned the signs, we don't come to the suit of the wands or the rods until we hit autumn. So we're in swords in the season of summer. On the medicine wheel, it's south. So right now it's about, as we've come past mid-year in the way we do the turning of the wheel of the months, we've come past mid-year. And so now the Ace of Swords is saying, cut off what you need to cut off, guillotine what needs to be guillotined, and move forward with the sword of victory. But it's beginnings. It's awesome beginnings. This new moon, when you have trines, you can't just sit back and expect the good mojo and juju to happen. You have to take action. And the aces are taking action. That's what they are. So the Ace of Swords right now would be like your lucky charm or your talisman, or like that card to pull out of the deck, and just visualize it. If you have several decks, pull out all the Ace of Swords, and as you're having your morning coffee or your evening wine, look at the Ace of Swords and just thank it. Just start there. Just thank it.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you for calling, Barbara. All right, the call-in number is 1-800-588-0335. Mary, I don't know. Have you done this in a long time? Can you? Well, maybe I can get you to do that after I'll get you to do it after the show. I don't want to take up anybody else's time.
No. You felt it right now. No, you felt it right now. We're doing it now.
Yeah, pull one for LTV. And then, let's see, 916, you'll be next.
Okay, 2 cards fell out. The one in the past is the 5 of Cups, 5 of Hearts, so it's kind of looking at what is spilled, all that's gone on, and there's a beautiful castle in the background, and the 2 of Cups remains, which is that really genuine soul-to-soul connection, but the figure has kind of like their chin resting on their hand. They're looking at, wow, look at all the energy I've expended, and look what didn't come about, and look what got spilled, and, look at the wine that got spilled, and that's the 3 that went down, but this is the 5 of Cups. So it's like resurrecting from some type of disappointment. It's like bouncing back. And then the other card from the Oracle deck is the full impact of Yang. So when we think about frequencies, Yang to me is positive. It's charging something, charging up something, charging it with the divine fire and the electricity. I always see that as fire and electrical, like you think about Aries and Aquarius. It's that divine fire. So, and it's the number 1 card, which would be the Magician in the regular tarot. So this is 2 hands coming out of the sky with stars coming down saying Yang. So it's like, go for it. So the disappointment of the 5 of Cups already has happened. It's not in your future.
Oh, that's good. That's over with then? That's good.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah, I like that laugh. You have the best laugh.
Well, yeah. I think we all want our deepest disappointments to be done with, don't we? But I think that resides within
card.
us,
Okay, that was your card, but I want to take you back to what you said. Often the things that are missing are in our soul. And now your homework is what's not missing in my soul. I rebuke that. I break that. I divorce that. It's my soul. I can do anything I want to on my soul ship.
Right on.
And I'm moving forward into relationships that match my soul captainship.
My soul captainship. All right.
Yes, sir.
My soul star, my compass. Yep.
All right. Well, let's see who we got. 916 area code. You're on the air with Mary Dusina. Who are you speaking with?
Hello. You're talking with Amber from Sacramento. Good evening.
Howdy, Amber.
So, how are you guys tonight?
There's our A letter. There's. I'm good. I'm feeling very charged up and powerful. Very charged up, and so it's glory. It's the glory cloud there. It's glory. Would you like a card?
Yes,
There's
I
my
would.
laugh.
I feel spirit has. Yes, thank you.
Laughter is good medicine, my dears. Laughter is good medicine. Okay, so you got the world. Now, this is interesting. So if you go into a biblical sense, it's the vision in Ezekiel, and you've got the 4 fixed signs. Taurus, the bull, or the oxen in the biblical sense. The lion of Judea, or Leo. You've got the eagle. Eagle also can be Phoenix with Scorpio, and then you've got Aquarius. And the eagle, Phoenix, and the Aquarius are at the top of this wreath of victory. And in traditional tarot, the world has a lot to do with, it's not just feminine and it's not just masculine, it's energy. And it's that buzz, it's that hum of the Om, it's like resonating it. Like even when we whisper, we can send it across eternity, depending on the type of energy that we fuel it with. So I feel like there's a lot of dynamic, sacred fuel around you right now that's orbiting, because the dancing figure has got the 2 magic wands, and the dancing figure is levitating inside this laurel wreath with the red infinity symbols in the ribbon. So this is about the 21. The world is the 3. So it's about, you've got the magician and you've got the high priestess, but then when you get to the 3rd card, it's the empress, pregnant with possibility. So in the world, that expands out and says, okay, what are you going to do with it now? What are you ready to do with it now? So like your treasure chest has been opened. It's right there. Are you ready to take action? So I guess I would say to you, take action. Start the steps.
Take action.
Okay. I really feel that energy. Thank you for confirming that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
God
Thank
bless.
you, Amber. Amber, take action.
Amber
action.
Amber action. 1-800-588-0335. The line's open. Just keep getting through. Keep calling if you don't get through. But I think this is an interesting time, man. Like I know for sure.
It's intense.
Yeah, it's super intense. And I was telling you earlier, like about the dreams I was having. They're nuts. Super nuts.
Do you have a central theme? Like, are you being chased? Are you flying? Are you running? What's the central theme?
The central theme is rejection. Like, and not only that, but like, I'll tell you that. So it's either I'm on the phone getting rejected or I'm getting rejected by something. It doesn't really matter what it is. And this other dream I had, I was riding my bicycle in a city. And I thought I was in Florida, but I don't know where I was. And then I found these other two people on a bike, and I was like, well, they probably know where they're going. And I started following them, and I hit this like really steep gravel hill that there's no way a bicycle could get up, right?
Obstacle.
Yeah, and I was like, oh my God, man, like what's going on? And then I got another phone call, pulled my cell phone out, and it was another phone call of rejection. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? You know, and I wake up in the dream.
It sounds to me it's coming up and out of, okay, the gravel hill and the bump in the road, and you're moving forward on the bicycle, which means you're in full control, because we get in a car and we start it, and the engine and the fuel, you know, and the metal thing goes. You get on a horse, you saddle it or you ride it bareback, but you got to pay attention that you're on a living creature. It'll throw you, you know, but when you're on a bicycle, you're doing it.
Yeah.
Motorcycle, you have to watch which way you lean and all that kind of stuff, and you got to watch out for crazy drivers. But if you're on a bicycle, it's you. You're powering it. So your power was moving forward. That's a good sign from your subconscious. And then you get on the phone, communications, wordplay, and it's like those taunting entities going, yeah, you're not good enough. Yeah, it's not going to happen for you. Pick.
Oh, man. There's nothing creepier when you're in a dream on the phone,
right?
And you can hear somebody else's voice that you know, right? And
hissing. Hissing. There's a hissing.
Oh, and they're like giving you the worst news ever, you know? And it's like, what?
Before you go to sleep, you put mirrors around you with radiating light. And if anything shows up, you can become lucid in the dream, and you can use those mirrors to turn and encapsulate them in mirrors, because guess what? Their energy can't escape out of their own cocoon if you mirror them. And I mean a ceiling of mirrors, a floor of mirrors, like they're totally encapsulated. Like think about an elevator that's totally mirrors. I mean, totally. The floor, the top. And so what's trying to taunt you or poke the tiger in the cage can't do it anymore because you mirrored it. Now, did you send them bad energy? Did you do bad witchy stuff? No. You simply gave them their own energy. You gave them a gift.
Yeah, whatever it is.
Here's what you're trying to send out. I want to give that back to you because it's important to you. So you're not seeing it, so I want to make sure you see it. Here, look at yourself. I'm so good with that one.
Look at it, right? All right, so
look at it.
Just look at it. We got a 281 area code. You're on the air with Mary Dusina. Who's speaking with?
Hey, man, it's Gigi.
What's up, brother?
Hey, what's happening, man?
Hi, Gigi.
Hey, what's up, Mary? It's always a treat.
You've got a nice,
to hear you here on
nice energy.
Oh, well, thank you.
Go ahead, Gigi.
And yeah, so I actually have. I know I'm a bit of a rambler. I promise you. I'm going to keep it short.
Okay.
Okay. So I want to ask you a question that's about an astronomer's opinion about astrology. That kind of blew my mind a while back. So back when I was in college, I was taking in astronomy class, and our teacher decided to skip a whole chapter of the official curriculum and spent a whole week telling us about this. And that is, your everyday horoscope, right? Whether you go to your local coffee shop and you get the local newspaper and it has your readings there, or your favorite website, whatever. The general horoscope that we all know and love, the dates that are relative to our signs that we all tend to know. Yeah. That's one thing. But his point was that he spent a whole week teaching us was how these dates might not be accurate. And his point was that these horoscopes that we read every day, those are based on where the stars were aligned to our planet about 3,000 years ago. And that if you do the math and, because the orbits and the rotations are not quite exact.
Precession of the equinoxes, precession of the equinoxes, kind
of like the same reason we have, leap day. We have to make up for the unpreciseness of the orbits, right? So his whole point was if you actually recalibrated where the stars are right now, typically the dates would be about 5 days off, which doesn't affect many people, but I was interested because it does affect me, because I'm born on September 25th, which makes me a Libra, right? But if you do the math and you readjust, the cutoff date is the 28th instead of the 23rd, 24th, whatever it is, which that would make me a Virgo, right? So what do you think about that? Do you think he has a point there?
No. What you said, what you said You're born what day?
The 28th, I think.
What's your
25th.
Okay, the 25th. Okay, and you're saying if it moved to September 28th, so both of the September 25th and September 28th would both be Libra. If we do the backwards precession of the equinox and it moved you to the 21st or 22nd of September, that would pop you into the very 28th, 29th degree of Virgo, the precession of the equinox.
You're right.
But if it was 25 to 28. Okay,
yeah,
for
I had
example,
that backwards.
for example.
Absolutely.
Okay, to your teacher, I thought you did. To your teacher's point, like in 2011, if you look at just the astronomy or the natural sky, Regulus moved into the sign of Virgo. It was always taught in Greek and Roman constellation astrology and the constellations that Regulus is in the heart of the lion, Leo. But Regulus moved into the sign of Virgo for the first time in 26,000 years. So what you do in astrology is you decide if you love sidereal, which is the actual natural sky stars, constellations. I like to kind of blend them both. Like I like Western astrology, but I become very aware of the constellations that are in someone's actual Western astrological sign. Like if you take your sign of Libra and go on the internet and type in, what are the constellations in the zodiac sign of Libra? Then take it one step further, because you like this, and look at what are the Greek or the Roman legends and myths of those stars, those constellations. That'll open your eyes.
Yeah. It's pretty interesting.
That's how to blend it. Yeah, I'm telling you, it's fascinating. It's fascinating. And then since you like that, look up the Bohemian stars. Behan, or Behenia. The Bohemian is the root word is from Arabic. And I said the word. The Bohemian stars are 15 stars, and they have a lot to do with Arabic, the root of the main constellation study. So you can just type in the Bohemian stars, and Bhen is the root word from that, and it means root. It's a loose translation in Arabic of the root. So you can do Greek mythology, you can do Roman mythology, and you can use the Arabic parts in astrology. And I promise you, they will all lead you on a journey of having a deeper understanding of yourself, whether it's Vedic like Jeff Harmon. He likes to do Vedic and Western. So you have some astrologers simply like Vedic and simply like sidereal. I mean, and I love them all, but I seem to have a knack of mixing the constellations with the Western zodiac. And I dipped my foot in all of it, and I'm like, no, this is where I'm strong.
And I wonder sometimes, too, how does, people like Frater Xavier and other magicians who've spoken clearly, that they know that a lot of magic in the ceremonies, the stellar magic, was based on sidereal, but they chose to use the modern astrological placements, and the magic still works perfectly. So I think a lot of it has to do with the energy too.
Well, if we state the obvious, like to Frater's point, if we state the obvious, like Carl Jung said, anything born or given at a certain point in time contains the qualities, magic, energies, frequencies, of that point and place in time. Carl Jung worked with, the Jungian archetypes came from his love of astrology and his psychological practice, different than Freud. That's one of the fights they had. So to Frater's point, if we're born in this incarnation at this point in time, then how we can look at the languages of this particular epoch in time are still going to be little soldiers that can give us information, although that I'm not frozen at all. I mean, I think when someone gets Western astrology is the only way, I think you got a problem then, because you're closing down your mind.
Yeah,
I think you have to remain open that there's this SEA of seeing, SEEING. There's an ocean of consciousness and interdimensional and extra-dimensional and extraterrestrial, and I personally believe there's interdimensional, interterrestrial types of things. So our soul is not bound, only if we allow it to be bound by this current incarnation or the current people in our family or the current people that betrayed us or broke us or made love to us. It's like, stop it. It's just this worldly stuff. Go ahead and take a spiritual dive first, ascend and get into your spiritual self. And if you do that with yourself, you'll watch the stars and signs and wonders, and the days of awe and wonder increase for you. You will. So I don't disagree with the professor, but I'll just finish by saying this. I feel like it's all relevant. It's all relevant.
That's what Jack Johnson said, too. We only got a few minutes left, too, so thanks for your call, Gigi. Thanks for calling in. Good
Thanks,
question.
Gigi.
Y'all can catch this show on Friday nights here on the Fringe FM at 7 p.m. Pacific. We might have a time for one more call if we get it quick. So, but yeah, I'm glad. It's good to hear your voice again. It's very comforting, Mary. I can tell you that.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Joe. That's a nice compliment. Thank you.
I think it's comforting to a lot of people, honestly. So,
Hope so.
Whoever that was, call back. I hit the wrong button. Call back. I'll get you on.
Well, in the meantime, while they're calling back, I'll do the first card. So the first card out of the C melody, since you've moved to Florida, we'll do an oceanic deck. The first card is dream, is the word on the oracle card, and it says follow your yearning for the deep blue sea. So I'm going to spell that again. That's one of the themes of the Pisces moon. Follow your yearning. That's a desire. That's an Old English word for desire. Follow your yearning, your longing for the deep blue sea. Is deep blue your color to be? Is it S-E-A or is it S-E-E? Or both. And the next card for that person that was on hold is the word rescue. There's another R word. Rescue, help others in need, or another A word, ask for assistance when you need it. Help others in need or ask for assistance when you need it. Keyword rescue. So 2 words, dream and rescue. So maybe you'll be rescued in your dreams, like Joe with his bicycle and hitting the gravel thing and people trying to call him. Calling is like, see, you're busy. You're moving forward on the bicycle and somebody's calling you, trying to distract you from you moving forward. So you have to set the intention that you're not going to let anybody distract you from your moving forward. If they want to join in and be a positive player in your moving forward, great. If they try to distract you, wrong answer. See ya.
Yeah, all right.
You don't get me today. Show up with. You're not rejecting them totally. You're not rejecting them totally, Joe. But it's like show up with the right energy, or homie, don't play that.
Yeah. No more fickle sticks. Right. So.
Nope.
Let's see.
Like
707 area code. Last phone call of the night. Who's speaking with?
Hey, Joe. This is Jody. Hey, Mary.
What's up, Jody?
Hello, Jody. Thank you, Jody. Thank you, Jody. Would you like a card?
I want you to give it to me straight. What's coming?
Oh, you know what?
I'm
bracing for it. I will. Okay, you've got. Thank you for that. Thank you for the valid. You got the Page of Swords. The Page of Swords to me is always the high spy card, the sleuth, the investigator. I feel like you don't have all the facts. You've got to have some diligence. I'm not saying invade someone or something's privacy, but I just feel like that you don't have the facts and figures to make an absolute final decision right now. I feel like a little more time needs to play out. You need to talk to some experts or some professionals. I feel like you need to gather more information before you drop the gauntlet on your final decision.
Whoa, wait a minute.
You don't have all...
So you got a big decision you got to make, Jody?
It's personal.
It's a personal one, okay.
It involves a lot of things. It involves a lot of moving parts. Like if Jody makes the decision, as Jody makes the decisions, a lot of, you've seen those things where the dominoes fall, when you touch the one domino and it falls, a lot of people are going to be affected, and Jody might be able to say, you're going to miss me when I'm gone.
You're going to miss me when I'm gone.
It's my little country mama. Let me finish with my country mama. Merlin, that's what she called me. Merlin, if you have to work at it all the time to make it work, it ain't working.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Hi, Mama.
Thanks for your call, Jody.
Glory.
Well, Mary, final thought for the night before we get out of here.
We have everything that we need within our soul star and our beautiful, blazing, radiant consciousness to shift and bust a move whichever way we need to do it without pain, without disharmony. We simply have to follow what our heart's eyes want us to see and how our heart's eyes want us to see it, which means we have to look at ourselves. What does your heart want? What does your heart desire to see? And if people are going cross purposes to that, you simply give them a little time without you. You don't get me. because you're not treating me with respect or treating me right. That's okay. Not going to get into an argument about it, but oh, look at the time, I'm busy. I've got some positive things to do.
Right on.
You stop letting people, what's that one song? Was it Tom Petty? Stop Dragging My Heart Around?
That's right.
Who did that song, Tom Petty? Okay. So it's kind of like sing those songs and it kind of builds you up to go, yeah. You know, and I want to say this for this special Hebraic time. There's an old song by Paul Simon, who happens to be Jewish. These are the days of miracles and wonder. Go look that one up. It's on his album Graceland. It's called The Boy in the Bubble. I want you all to sing the lyrics of that. These are the days of miracles and wonder. This is the big call. Go play that. It's really neat. It's when he got those African guys. He took those African guys and brought them to New York and to the States and did the whole album Graceland with them. And they played all those great African instruments. It was absolutely phenomenal. So The Boy in the Bubble is off the album Graceland. And you can look it up on YouTube and play that and wake up to that or go to sleep with that, but start doing the lyrics of that upbeat music of These Are the Days of Miracles and Wonders. This is the long distance call. These are the days of miracles and wonders. Don't cry, baby. Don't cry.
Well, I got to cry.
Do that because sound freak. Oh, it'll make you have the good cry. You know, it won't make you have the ugly cry. It'll give you the good cry. Crying, you release more toxins through our tears than through sweat, through urine. I mean, we release more toxins through our tears, so don't hold it back. Have tears of laughter. When's the last time you laughed so hard you just cried? It was so funny. You couldn't even speak anymore, you know, and you know, start focusing on tears of laughter, and if a memory comes up or a sadness, go ahead and just cry. Get off the gender thing on that. If you want to lose the gender thing, lose it on being able to express your emotions and laughing and crying.
Yeah, I get tired of people saying, "Oh, it's not masculine to cry," or "It's not strong, it's unattractive." Like, well, your version of strength.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Is a really messed up version of strength in my book. So,
yeah,
whatever.
Well, let's not judge them. Let's not judge them because they'll come to. I'd rather cry over something that stirs my emotions, or through laughter, or through just genuine empathy for someone, than to wait until something comes into my life that's physically painful enough to make me cry. Been there too. Yeah, I'd like to choose my tears, thank you.
Sorry for the judgment, but I'm handing them down. I don't care.
Homie, don't play that.
Yeah, I don't care.
I love you all. It's Virgo time. Just focus on just getting your plan and doing your work and not being attached to the outcome. And your mountain mystic will be back with you soon, and I'll be meditating on 9/9, releasing myself. Got to do the work yourself, and I'll also be under that glorious Pisces moon, the clouds of glory, Pisces moon over the 19th and the 20th, depending on your time zone. Joe, thank you, honey, and thank you all for investing your time and your energy in this at the new moon each month, and those of you that are savvy enough to actually get an appointment with me, because we'll rock it.
Yeah, make sure you go to MaryDusina, MaryDusina.com. Ryan Gable from The Secret Teachings is up next. We'll be back tomorrow night, same time, same channel. Sweet dreams. Good night.